My name is Maya Chen. For years, my mother described my work the same way. My daughter has a little computer job. She always said it casually, with a soft smile, like it was something harmless. At family gatherings, she'd wave her hand in my direction and add, "She just sits on her laptop all day." Some programming thing. People would nod politely, then move on. I stopped correcting her a long time ago. Not because I didn't care, but because it was easier. Explaining what I actually did meant explaining venture capital, product design, scaling systems, global users' concepts that didn't fit into quick conversations over dinner. So I let the version they understood exist at home. I was the quiet daughter with the small, technical job, the useful one. Whenever something broke, my phone lit up. "Can you fix my Wi-Fi? My laptop won't open this file. Can you make a website for my shop?" I always said yes, not because I needed approval, but because saying no would raise more questions than I wanted to answer. Meanwhile, my real life happened elsewhere: late nights, video calls across time zones, shared screens filled with code and uncertainty. It started small. Just a tool I built to fix a problem no one else seemed interested in solving. Then it grew slowly. Then suddenly, users multiplied. Investors came in. The system had to scale, and before I realized it, I wasn't just writing code anymore. I was leading teams, making decisions that affected thousands of people, defending ideas in rooms where every second had a cost. But none of that existed at family dinner. There, I still had a little computer job. One evening, my mother called, unusually excited. "We're hosting a dinner next week," she said. "A very important guest is coming. A big CEO." She talked about the menu, the seating, the impression they wanted to make. Then she said his name. I almost laughed, not because it was funny but because I knew exactly who he was. 2 years earlier, he had sat across from me in a glass-walled conference room. I had pitched my company to him, explained the product, answered his questions. 3 weeks later, his firm invested millions. Since then, we'd spoken regularly. But I didn't tell my mother. "Sounds important," I said simply. The night of the dinner, the house buzzed with nervous energy. My mother adjusted decorations. My father rehearsed business phrases he didn't fully understand. My uncle checked the time every few minutes. I set the table quietly. At one point, my cousin joked, "Make sure the Wi-Fi works tonight. Don't want your little computer job failing." U.S. Everyone laughed. I smiled and kept placing plates. Then the doorbell rang. The CEO walked in with easy confidence. Polite, calm, observant, he greeted everyone warmly. Then his eyes found mine. Recognition, immediate, subtle. He gave a small nod. I returned it. No one else noticed. Dinner began. Conversation flowed. My family asked careful questions. Trying to sound knowledgeable, they leaned in, eager to impress. I mostly listened. Halfway through the meal, the topic shifted to startups. The CEO began describing a recent investment, a company solving a problem most people overlooked. He said, "It started with one person who saw it clearly." My uncle nodded eagerly. "That must take an incredible team." "It does," the CEO replied. Then he paused and glanced at me. "I didn't expect to see her here tonight," he said. The table went still. "The founder of that company," he continued calmly, "is sitting right here." Double quote silence, not dramatic, not loud, just still. My mother looked confused. "You mean she works there?" she asked carefully. The CEO smiled. She founded it. Another. Silence. He said the company name, then mine. No one spoke. I didn't explain. I didn't fill the space. I simply answered his next question about product expansion. We talked the same way we always had about scaling, hiring, strategy. But this time, my family listened, really listened, not to the girl with the little computer job, but to someone they didn't recognize. Dinner continued, but something had changed. The joke stopped. The tone softened. The assumptions cracked. Later that night, after the guests left, the house grew quiet. My mother stood in the kitchen for a long time. Then she said, "You never told us." I rinsed a plate slowly. "You never asked," I replied. She nodded, not arguing, just understanding. It didn't feel like a victory. Nothing in my life had changed. The work was still there. The company still existed. Everything I built was already real. But something else had shifted. Not in me, in them. For the first time, the story they told about me was no longer enough, and now they had to decide what to do with the truth.